Well, good afternoon, everybody. It's Thursday, so here I am, and for the love of dragons, always love to come see you guys. So I am on a holiday week, but I just can't stay away. I love to connect and talk with you guys about dragons. And so this week, anybody that doesn't know me, I know we've got a lot of new folks in the group. A lot of new dragons have joined the lair. My name is Araya Onrai. I'm the author of The Dragon Within, and I am a psychic medium. I am an energy healer, I'm a life coach, and I'm a guide with the dragons. That's first and foremost what I help people with, because people start having dragon experiences and they're not sure what to do with that. Maybe a healer told them they have a dragon in their field, or they started perceiving them, they've got one in their yard, or they've got dragon eggs around their property and they don't know really what to do with that. So I like to come on every week and talk about different topics, different subjects with the dragons, answer questions. Sometimes we do live mini readings. Those are super fun. And this week I'm going to talk about energy and the dragons and the differences between them, or how you perceive them, because a lot of people know what energy is, but they don't ever take it a little bit further in the concept of energy and really focus on, well, what is energy? Because essentially everything around you is energy. It seems like solid matter, but it's really just energy that's vibrating at such a low frequency that in this 3D realm, it feels like solid matter. But if you were to expand it out or look inside in the microscopic level, there would be a lot of space in between there. There would be so much going on within that you would be able to see all the energy and the molecules flowing and interacting and giving an impression of something, right? Giving a frequency or an interaction with other things. So everything that we perceive is actually energy. So when we are healing energy, we're able to connect into and move through frequency spaces to take frequencies out that are more dense, that aren't serving us, to add frequencies in that are higher and would help us raise our vibrational level, which means more information can come in, because information, light, love, they're all frequencies. They are all energy. I talked about color last week. I talked about breath the week before. So if you haven't seen those, check out the archives and go into the videos either on the YouTube channel or in the group video archives and look back on those. There are different ways of talking about energy. And if you've never perceived energy, you don't really know what that means. Does your energy body expand and feel huge? Can you experience that? And I guarantee if you start working, hi Christina, if you start working with energy and get to the place where you can tangibly feel it for the first time, a whole bunch of doorways start opening. And that's the gift of the dragons. They bring that in and help you move the things out that are holding you back from that, because that's your natural state. Your natural state is all of your sixth sense abilities, all your clairs, clairvoyance, claircognizance, clairsentience, clairalience, all of those are part of that energy frequency. And we've just dropped into such density and forgetfulness that we've lost the ability to connect with them. So as we heal and move denser things out of our field, and this is such a prime opportunity in the time-space continuum where we're at right now in our journey, there's so many energies available on the planet to help us get there, to help us get to that place of remembering, to a higher connection with our truest self, and actually bring that into the living experience right now. That's what the whole awakening journey is about. It's about getting to that connection with our truest self, whatever form that is in. And Christina says, I've noticed an increase in seeing dragons while out and about in the sky, nature, etc. Absolutely. The dragons for the past year, a little bit more, but specifically in the last year, since March 19th of last year of 2018, when the event took place, and it was very similar to the harmonic convergence back in 1987. When this big wave of energy came to us, it heralded and brought in a wave of frequency and an opening of portals and availability of higher frequencies, which allowed a lot of the dragons to actually be more present, more accessible, because of the frequency range that they are existing in. So that's why I want to talk about energy with them and how you perceive energy and how you will perceive the dragons. Because as we open those abilities within ourselves, so if we're walking in 3D, we're in our densest form. We're in our most dense, slowest frequency, slowest energy, slowest vibration. Those are different ways to say that. So if we want to expand ourselves into our light body, which is our highest frequency, and actually connect and bring that into our physical form, how do we get there? It's a whole process of stair stepping, right? So as you start that stair step, the dragons are here, and the elemental dragons are the ones specifically to work with the things in the physical body. They are the ones that are gonna come and help clear out the things in your physical body, the mental, emotional, etheric, energetic. Those bodies need clearing out. The elemental dragons work in all of those. All of the dragons work in levels of those, but the real dense stuff is the terrain, or the place where, hi Tina, good to see you, where the elemental dragons become crucial. And so that's why the work is out there. That's why the book The Dragon Within came through back in 2007 and was put out in 2008, to have that work available for people, to get you started on that journey of remembering. So when you connect with that energy, it's another way to connect with energy. The elemental dragons, when you start working with them and start experiencing them, will be the most solid, tangible, most inform, I would say is a way to put it, beings, hi Linnell, good to see you, that you can experience. So you will have a more vivid visual experience with the dragons that can drop into the lowest frequency zone with us. Does that mean all of the dragons won't? They could. You might have a titanium dragon from Sirius, or some of the other metallics come in and actually feel very solid around you. That's because they're dropping their frequency down for you to perceive that. Hi, Crystal. So in your first experience, calling the elementals in, that's their domain, because they're the ones to help you move into the next steps, where you can start to perceive the black, the white, the crystal, and then the Orion dragons above that, and the Sirian dragons above that. So what you'll experience is, as you continue moving upward, and you can start, it's like a bell curve, right, of what you can perceive. So as you raise the bar gets raised on the other side as well, just like a set of bookends is another way to look at it. So as we have those bookends out in front of us, and we keep raising our bottom bar by clearing out, doing our shadow work, getting our densities in our physical field brought out. Maybe we have karmic knots still stuck in there. And a lot of that can be with healers, that can be in your own deep dive. There's a great program that I have called the 40 Days with Ma'at. It's basically 40 days in the mirror. It's 40 days in the mirror of self-reflection through a very ancient ceremony that was originally from the Ma'at Egyptian practice mystery schools. And I've transformed it into something for humans to work with, like Westerners, to actually sit and have the same energetic and be able to reflect on it in a language and in a format that they can understand and work with on a daily basis for 40 days. A lot of people actually like to do it during the 40 days is aligned with that process of Lent and Easter, right? It's a really great time that people do a lot of that clearing in the spring. It's helped part of that spring clear out. Yeah, wonderful. Catching it again. So when you're in that space of, wow, I know I need to do some deep shadow work, message me and I'll get you connected with where the page is to actually go and access that and be able to get all the files you need, because it's a little digital video file every day for 40 days with me talking about what you are going to reflect on that day in meditation, and then actually having a paper that actually has all of those on it. Anyway, that getting back to the bell curve that we're working in. So as you do the shadow work, as you do body work, massage work, Reiki, crystal stone healings, anything that you can do that helps drop some of the density things out, working with an energy healer like myself, or, you know, that's the gift when I coach people, because the psychic mediumship, you go in and you can get clear readings on what your soul is trying to tell you. This is what I'm blocked with right now. This is my next step. This is how I get through there. Hi, Lexi, good to see you. And that's where we go in. We can actually do the energy healing work right there on it and move it out. Bring some of the dragons in. Who are your guides? What are they working with? And help you get that clarity, because that's what moves things out, moves your bottom bar up, and opens the potential for your front runner panel to be reaching higher frequencies, because the energies available right now, as I was saying before, are incredible. There's so much available. The information I've had coming through in the Dragonheart program in the last 2 months has been off the charts, just phenomenal, of taking us into really higher metaphysical understanding. And so when that bar is raised, that's what starts to be available. And that's what's available with the dragons. So when you start getting into that bell curve zone and keep pushing it up, your experiences with the dragons will start to change. You will start calling in or attracting higher frequencies that can come and be part of your experience. You can learn from them. They can heal you. They can take you through different things and awarenesses and memories. They can take you to places within yourself through these doorways to help you remember places where you have lived, other galaxies, other universes, other lifetimes in this time-space continuum. So that's where the memory starts coming in and being really handy. And next week, we're actually going to talk about some of that. I'm going to go into the Akashic Records and the Halls of Wisdom, which are both accessible through the Dragon Realms. And I've got a guest coming now next week who's one of my Dragon Hearts, and his whole journey of opening to that, he signed up for the program because he was compelled with dragons, and he just felt like, I don't have my inner gifts anymore. I want to connect to that. And my whole family has it. I know it's within me. I know I have memory of it as a child. I need to get there. So over that 9-month program, he opened up to it. And now, through the end, his connection to his truest self as dragon unveiled, revealed, and oh my goodness, he has this incredible gift with and connection to the Pleiadian dragons in charge of the Akashic Records. And his gateway to that is so powerful and potent. And I'm going to have him on because he is doing amazing Akashic readings, and I want him to talk about his journey. So we're going to go there next week. But that's the energy frequency. That's the coming in of this higher parameter that you set forward, and then this stuff can come to you. You guys might have been feeling in the last month especially so much happening energetically. It gets draining. A lot of people are having trouble sleeping. I know that for me, this week off is all about, and for, my guides, my psychic awareness, I set it out way ahead. Like, I planned this week off months ago, knowing it's the perfect time for a break in the Dragonheart program. I could actually, finish book club first and have no classes, no sessions, and have a week off to regenerate myself and work on some things that I never get time to do, like the meditations. I want to have guided meditations available for you guys on my site. There's only the 2 right now, and I'm working on getting those out because they've been on my wish list to have completed for the last 2 years. So really excited to have time to be spending time in that. I've been tired this week. I was exhausted. I actually had body work, which is so important for moving energy. I have an amazing healer friend in Truckee, California, who actually came and did an on-site in-house massage for me. And she looked at me and she said, I've never seen you this strange. I've never seen you. You actually look sort of gray energetically. And by the time she was done and with her infrared treatment, I was a new person. And I was like, thank you. I knew this needed to align at the beginning of this week off for me to get back to me. So energy, healing, rejuvenating yourself is such an important part of the journey. But going back to this frequency piece of, all right, letting your energy be rejuvenated, that's part of the energy discussion. But also opening that bell curve, what can come in. And as you perceive, so maybe you've perceived the elementals and they're quite solid, you might actually get to the place where you're seeing different levels of etheric reality, where the dragons you perceive are more wispy or etheric-like. It's like, I can see it. I know that I can draw it if I needed to. I can see the whole form, but at the same time, the edges of the form feel very misty, or I can just know that they're there, but actually if I perceive it, it's like they're borderless. And you start getting into ones like Galadrius, who helped me, it was Galadrius and Metatron and myself that pulled the Dragonheart program together, and they're the anchoring trine. Hi, Athene, good to see you, baby. New mama, I hope baby's doing good. And it's 2:22, perfect, thanks Christina. And I love that I'm talking about Galadrius at 2:22. That seems really potent for some reason, because Galadrius was the one that came in. He's from another universe. He came in from a star system very far, far away. So when I perceived him the first time, it's like looking into a black hole. So it's like looking at a being. If you imagine a dragon that has a body form that you can see, but it's like blackness against blackness, and almost like a translucent shape or form that comes out of the blackness but is clear is all I can describe it as. But knowing the level of frequency that he's working at, that he could come in, and that's how I would perceive him. And there's everything in that gamut in between, the very physical, solid, real ones you are seeing, and giving you a hot five. Yes, Galadrius can do that. All of the higher frequency dragons can do that. And getting that heat in your head and the heat through the body, yes, those higher frequencies, they're available right now. And that's partly why we're so tired. That's partly where the energetic drain is happening. Because the level of higher frequencies available around the planet right now is almost like an overload for our system. On a very subconscious level, we're always reaching and striving for it, so we're wanting to ingest and bring in as much as we can. But consciously, we don't have the wherewithal to say, oh my God, that's going to fry my circuits, or I probably shouldn't take this much, but I want to make these leaps and bounds, so all right, bring it on. Sometimes we make those silly free choice decisions. Part of it, we wouldn't do, our guides would probably say, let's slow it down. Let's back it off a bit. Or maybe we're doing a big wave in order to make a big jump forward, and then we have to recuperate and recover to integrate it all. So that's all a part of the game. But I wanted to talk today about the perception of the energies within that and getting inside that bell curve. And all right, here I can perceive these dragons, but why am I not able to perceive and get that really strong, almost tangible physical feeling with maybe a gold dragon or the Syrian dragons? And the Pleiadian dragons have been available since last fall, and the people in the Dragonheart program get to work with them directly, and I will be including that in the next book that's starting to align. All that energy has been there for a couple of years, and it's now getting very much on my plate to bring it into reality. So that's out ahead of us. But that thread of energy coming in is something that I want you to jump on. Take advantage of it and start to be aware. All right, I'm perceiving golds or a golden dragon, but it's very ethereal right now, or very misty, or I just can't grab or touch it. It's because it's coming in at the higher frequency zones that you are able to perceive. So allow that as you move up, it will become more tangible to you as you step into that frequency zone. As you work more in the fifth dimensional plane, the Orion dragons, which are in the fifth dimensional plane, will seem like the elemental dragons do to us here. Same thing goes to Earth and the dragons have been calling. Yes, Earth and Fire dragons. Yeah, there's a lot of grounding and clearing work that needs to happen with the Earth and Fire dragons. And they do definitely speak so loudly when it's time for us. And they have such great gifts to bring us there. So I'm glad of that, Christina. Anyway, so I just want to bring that out as a little topic of discussion, as a point of awareness and consciousness that on your journey, if you're perceiving dragons or picking them up around you, that would be a reason that maybe they're a little more ethereal, maybe they're a little more misty, or you can't even feel them, you just know they're there. Or you can't see them or perceive on a certain level, but you just know they're there. And know that, all right, they're a higher frequency that I'm ready to access, and I'm going to allow their gifts to come in and help me where I can right now. And that's the beautiful thing with the dragons too. So maybe you've worked through the Dragon Within book. If you haven't yet, it's on dragonwithin.com. And it is coming out in print very soon. I'm working on that right now as well in a beautiful vintage style hardback available. I'm really excited about the project coming together. Anyway, I'll announce that because there's so much happening this spring. So those dragons, maybe you've worked with it, maybe you haven't. But it's not a book that you read once and you put on the shelf and it's done, or you give away or whatever. It's one of those that never stops giving, because the dragons never stop giving. There is always a level of work that you can gain from it, and you will know, hi Leanna, you will know what you're called to do. Every time you pull it off the shelf and just open and let the book open itself and let a dragon speak to you of who needs to work with you now, because you may have worked long and hard with the earth dragons. And 2 or 3 or 4 years later, you might pick it up again and go, oh, I need to bring the earth dragons in again. I'm ready for a deeper layer of this particular thing. Maybe they're ready to merge with another dragon and bring you a deeper level of work on something that's a merged zone. So always keep it available. Always know that they are here to assist you. And that book is your guidebook that you can always, it's like a dictionary or an index that you can always go back to find another deeper layer. And it will end up taking you higher and higher and higher towards your truest self, especially for those of you that are dragons. And talking about those of you that are dragons or called to do really deep dragon work, I do want to bring up, if you are not on my mailing list yet, because I'm going to put a newsletter out next week that's going to have all the information about all the stuff I'm going to mention right now, which is a lot. There's a lot going on this year. So on the bottom of the homepage at dragonwithin.com, there's a little space where you can enter a first name and an email address and get on the newsletter list. I don't send a lot out. I don't spam people with newsletters. I do one every 6 to 8 weeks, unless there's a lot happening, and then you might get one a month or one every 3 or 4 weeks. So right now, I want you to ideally get that if you're interested, because Sacred Tibet with the Dragons is coming up, and this is the ideal time to get signed up for that. There's only 15 spaces, and get your plane tickets. We're 5.5 to 6 months out, so it's ideal. It's September 5th to the 18th. This is a sacred journey to Tibet. We're starting in Jining, China, and we're going all the way to Zanda, which is where the Guje Kingdom was. And there are activations with dragons, both personally in yourself, in the land, and in the greater picture in the earth. There are multiple levels of activations going on in that, as well as a physical grid point with Kailash. So that's going to be huge energetically. There will probably be, for those that can't travel or get there, there will probably be energetic transmissions offered with that one, just like last year in Egypt and South Africa, because this is a major point. Workshops coming up. So those of you that have that Dragon Connection calling, you don't have to do it alone. I'm actually starting to travel and do workshops again. If you know that your area would be primed to have 15, 20 or so people get together and do some dragon work, let me know. I'm willing to schedule it around all the activations that are happening, because that's what I'm getting called to do. So I am teaching workshops again, and I've got one coming up on May 25th and 26th in the Montreal, Quebec region. It's good, and all of these 3 are going to be taught in English and French. So bilingual, I speak in English, have a translator right there immediately, but I speak French. So all of the meditations I'll be guiding in French, as well as answering questions directly. So really excited that that's coming together. Hello, Valerie. They're an extension of our spirit, like animal totem, like ourself, into other dimensions. Dragons have, let me see if I can read more, force and very good assistance in meditation, protection, or energetic care. Absolutely. They are here to guide us. They are such a loving light, unconditionally loving presence. It's incredible what they have for us and with us. And for those of us that are truly dragons here in service as volunteers for this time on the planet, it's an incredible awakening to get to that place where you embrace your dragon and really come home. And that's really what my journey is about. It's about bringing you guys home to you. And whether you're a dragon or not, there are tools with the dragons that can help you get there. So that's why I'm out doing workshops again. That's why I'm pushing myself all over the planet this year and next, and probably beyond that. But the next workshops are June 22nd and 23rd, starting the night of Friday the 21st in Sarre, France. That's near Biarritz. It's Biarritz. It's near the Spanish-French border on the northern side. And that one, we're going to have a Crystal Bowl concert available Saturday night, which is an extra bonus there as a little optional add-on. And that is, again, going to be taught in English and French. And then the following weekend, the 29th and 30th, so starting the Friday night, the 28th, in Cheminat, which is about an hour and a half southwest of Lyon, and going to be also very powerhouse. It's in a dojo. I mean, when this place finally aligned, I was blown away, because I connected with it based on the name Jardin des Étoiles, the Garden of Stars, and sent the guy a message after 6 weeks of searching and knowing, I've just got to surrender this. The right place is going to show up. And all of a sudden, I felt this one, had someone call to find out, and come to follow the connection to the website. There's dragons all over his website. And I thought, all right, they were just holding out as a big joke to get me, because I didn't even see it when I first contacted him. So incredible space for that. Beautiful Qigong dojo that we get to work in down in that area of France. So if that is calling you, please, please get the connection. Get a hold of me. I'll get you the information. And then what else is coming up? We have a huge opportunity next, it's in a week and a half, on Wednesday night, April 17th, from 6 to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time here in Reno. We are doing the first Dragon Crystal Grid meditation, combining my forces with Matthew, Christopher, and Marie McLean, who has been putting these world peace meditations together based on William Lee Rand's energetic grid, the crystal grids around the planet that he worked with. Well, when I got invited to do it, the dragons all jumped up and down and said, yes, this is supposed to happen. You need to do it in April. Okay. So I said, all right, well, the first 2 times that we have met together to even talk about it, the energy between us in the room has been literally almost tangible, like lightning, like my hair almost standing on end, my head to toe. When I get energy confirmations, it comes head to toe like a tingle down my spine. It was my whole body. It was like being electric. Yes, I know the dragons do have a sense of humor. So I'm excited about it, because it's the first time that as I was speaking with him, the channel was open, and the dragons have moved. I'm to call in the whole council again. I haven't done that since 2007. So there's something big happening with this. My whole body's tingling again right now, which is pretty exciting. So I'm going to be calling in the council. He's connecting to the crystal grids of the planet through William Lee Rand's work, and I'm going to be connecting to the dragon grids that are connected with the crystalline core of the planet and their own crystal grid that the dragons are holding for the planet. So that's going to be an opportunity on April 17th to either align energetically in meditation if you can't be there in person. We're trying to stream it live. We're trying to figure right now if they have a Wi-Fi signal at the location. If they do, we're going to go ahead and do a Zoom opportunity so that people can jump in on that. And there will be another live about it in the next week. And it will be in the newsletter. So that's why I say get on to get all this stuff in the newsletter so you don't have to remember it and have it written down. And I'm going to also offer a transmission. So whether or not you can join in energetically, whether or not you can be here physically, there is going to be an energy transmission that will be sent for your time zone, and I will give instructions in that for those that are interested. But it feels big enough, and there's been a call for it. People have started asking, like, wow, I can't be there, but can you do a transmission? And it just feels right to do that, because when you do that, what happens is an energetic, and here's talking about energy again, aligning into a meditation energetically, you tune your own energy in, you add your energy to the group sphere, you add to that exponential aspect. But you're not necessarily receiving the full aspect that's going out. You're bringing in and participating, but in receiving a transmission back, everything that is coming up that's a clearing for each person there is going to be sent from that direct physical hands-on space out to you personally if you want that, if you decide to receive the transmission, because it's going to be a lot more potent coming directly in an energy stream sent directly to you than just tuning in and tapping into the sphere. So that's going to be on offer as well. And just really excited about it, because the way that it's aligned so magically, and every time that we talk about it, the energy just ramps up amazingly. So I don't think there's any coincidence between all that's happened in the last month energetically, people starting to feel overload, people starting to feel drained. Wow, there's a lot going on. What is it? A lot of work going on in the ethers and the sleep states. And then this opportunity with this alignment coming up. And I feel like it's sort of like a kickoff or a doorway, something opening towards what's happening in May, June, July, August, September, with all the activations that are coming up. Because while I'm traveling in Europe in June, I will be doing multiple activation points of the grids there. I remember talking about Sedona last year, when I was in Sedona with the Dragon Hearts, and that ended up being the first activation space, and seeing that there were actually 4 corner points and an apex point, and that the entire floor of Sedona, and this is in the video archives as well, when I was talking about it, the entire valley floor unpinned as we activated each of those 4 points and the apex, and started spiraling counterclockwise, essentially unpinning it from the 3D grids. And that's what I was tasked with. I finally understood the reason for the activations around the globe and why I'm being called to do those. It's about the dragons who hold the matrix, the energetic matrix underlying this, us actually getting up. Yeah, everything sounds really exciting, I know. Actually getting us up to that 5th dimensional portal and going through it. Well, it can't happen if we're still pinned into the 3D grids. And it made so much sense when that was actually the terminology that came through of what was happening, that we're actually going and unpinning from the 3D grids and all the locations where the dragons have been holding that space and holding those grids together. So now as we work over the next few years to unpin them all, allowing that parallel reality in the 5th dimension to actually be fully accessed and opened. The dragons are going to clear a lot of energy and will help create space for us to rise up. Yes, Christina, so much is being cleared and held, but the dragons were the ones that came in to hold this space for these in this universe, for this planet and this whole earthly system. So all the grids of this universe are being held by the dragons, which is why they are in the star systems in Orion and Sirius and the Pleiades and quite a few others, but those are the gateways. And that's why all this information, there's so much of it and so much to ingest, and they just want you to keep calling on them to help you get aligned with all of that. So I know that, gosh, this has been a big full-on talk. It's been really fun to see all the different ways that energy gets talked about with the dragons. and so much to share and do. So if you're feeling called to one of those events, message or email me. Or if you're feeling like, wow, I'm ready to do some deeper work on myself. Maybe I need a dragon reading. Maybe I need a one-on-one session. Maybe I need your 12-week program. Maybe after a couple of those, I might feel called to the Dragonheart program, because there will be another one starting up either fall or early winter for those that are ready to do the next Eye of the Dragon. And so all that's just starting to be scheduled right now. Pretty excited, so much happening, and I love coming to talk to you guys every week. It's been really nice actually to feel like, because I have this down week, I've actually had a really long extended live with you guys today, and it's been wonderful. And so I look forward to my guest on next week. He will be coming and sharing with you both about his Dragonheart journey, but also about his Akashic readings, and they are powerful. And following that, maybe we'll have to do one with some live mini dragon readings again. So I look forward to connecting again. You guys have a fabulous weekend, and I will see you next week. Lots of love. Bye.